Well, first of all, how close are you to the epicenter?
We are less than a mile from Cathedral Square, which is in the center of the central business district. So we are very, very close. I could walk there in about 20 minutes.
And what does it look like right now?
This morning, it's early in the morning on Wednesday. We haven't been downtown yet. The Army and police have actually cornered off the entire city center. But what we saw in our neighborhood yesterday is we are abutting Hagley Park, and they were using that as a triage center, and we saw many helicopters. We're assuming they were injured in those helicopters being airlifted out of the area to go to probably local hospitals.
You live in a single story building, or how many stories in your building, and what floor are you on?
We live in a two-story townhouse, and it's actually fairly modern and new. It's less than 2 years old. So this townhouse has done extremely well with the earthquake that happened on September 4th, the aftershock that happened December 26th. And when the earthquake hit yesterday, I don't even see one crack in this place. Some people have completely lost their homes. They've split wide open. And we are in a very structurally sound home. I feel quite safe here. In our neighborhood, though, there's a lot of older homes, and those have not fared so well.
What did it feel like?
Well, I was sitting on the couch, and just the entire home just shook at its core. It was a very violent shaking. I just sort of jolted right up from the couch, and I couldn't even take any steps. The floor was shaking, and I just looked all around me, and I saw cabinet drawers opening up here in the kitchen, DVDs, CDs, books flying off shelves, TV shaking, and it lasted for a while. It lasted probably about, I felt like it lasted maybe 30 seconds or so, and that seems like a really long time when it's happening. And then maybe 10 minutes later, we had another one almost as strong and almost for as long. And that was just as upsetting as well. And then ever since then, we've had some very large aftershocks and then some very minor ones, but I felt dozens in the last 20 so hours.
And is the water running yet, or is the electricity on, or how's that working?
Yeah, we do have power. That's why I'm able to Skype you guys. I've been online through Facebook and email, contacting family and friends. Water we don't really have. We have a trickle through the faucets, but we're told that the water is not safe to drink or to bathe with. So we're told to boil water, but we were quick enough to fill some jugs with water, like right when the earthquake first happened, before the water supply got disrupted. So we have enough water. We're just waking up this morning, we're gonna try to figure out where we can go to get more water. That's the most important thing I think we need right now.
Is New Zealand, and forgive me for my geographical ignorance or I don't know what it would be, earthquake ignorance, is New Zealand an earthquake area? Is it a country that is prepared sort of the way California might prepare, or how would you compare it to this part of the world?
Yeah, and don't apologize. I didn't know much about New Zealand before I met my fiance either, but it is a very geothermically active area. New Zealand's known for having these amazing sort of mountains and hot pools and turbulent sort of geothermal activity, but they didn't have a major earthquake for a very long time. And the 4th, 2010 earthquake was the first one of any significance in quite a long time. And they actually didn't know, I guess, there was a fault line underneath the city until that earthquake. So after the September 4th earthquake, the city put a lot of things into place, just educating people about emergency preparedness. And people were doing those things. And what's sad is that there was a sort of financial sort of reimbursement package for people to fix their homes up, and they were working on fixing the city center from the original damage of that one, which was nothing compared to this. And the city was really getting back on its feet again. Even as recently as a week or two ago, they did something downtown to sort of bring people more to the city center. They sort of had sales in the stores, trying to lure people downtown, and I think it was fairly successful. And people were starting to feel safe again. And then after this, I think people are really rocked to the core. But I think a lot of people were prepared, because people I spoke to said they did have water, they did have food reserves, they did have sort of flashlights and candles nearby and all that. So I think people in their homes, if they were home, were prepared for it. But people downtown really didn't have much of a choice.
You know, I'm sure we may have some pictures from you, but can you give us an idea of before and after, when you first saw it, when you first saw what the earthquake had done? What was the first thing that went through your mind? Does it just look devastated, or how does it look?
Yeah, unfortunately, I haven't been down right to the city center where you're probably seeing a lot of the footage from, because the Army has totally cornered it off. They evacuated the city center as quickly as they could after it happened. I am just in the immediate surroundings of that, and we just see some of the damage to the residential homes. Power was out, traffic lights are out. We just saw all the traffic of people trying to leave the city, to flee, to go home or go to the school to pick up their kids. Everyone initially just wanted to make sure that their families were safe, and it was just gridlock traffic. It was bumper to bumper traffic on every road, everywhere. And there were people, we could hear people like screaming, and there were young kids crying, and just we could hear people like reuniting with their families as they came home in our neighborhood. And we saw the traffic. I haven't seen the downtown area yet, but in our neighborhood, there was a lot of destruction of the older homes. Usually the brick homes, the homes that are like 50 plus years old, the businesses that are 80, 100 plus years old, those are the ones that just completely were destroyed.
Now, have you straightened out your apartment yet, or is it still a bit of a mess? And if so, would you mind maybe pointing your laptop or the camera just to give us an idea of what it might have done to your apartment?
Yeah, actually, we sort of cleaned up a little bit. Mostly it was just books, CDs, DVDs that got thrown around, all the cabinets in the kitchens we kind of put back. So the place actually looks okay. It just looks like we're living very messily right now because we haven't fixed everything up. But our place is okay. It was very superficial issues that happened. I mean, we have a large screen TV on a stand, and that didn't even fall down. I mean, we were very fortunate, and nothing fell on the car that was in the garage. We had all kinds of stuff in the garage, and nothing fell on that. We moved the car up to the driveway now just so it's not near any trees or in the garage, but we're very fortunate. There's really no damage to see.
What was your mom's reaction in Foxboro?
Well, I sent them an email very shortly after it happened just to let them know I was okay in case they saw something on the news about it, because New Zealand doesn't really make world news, especially Massachusetts, Rhode Island news that often. So I sent them an email and I didn't hear back, and I guess they were on a date night, which I didn't know. And so when I didn't hear back from them, I figured they just thought, oh, okay, thanks for letting us know. I didn't know how big the earthquake really was until the aftershock right there. I didn't know how big the earthquake was until I started seeing pictures coming through the news, because I am in a little bit more of a residential area. But I had emailed my sister, my brother, and my parents, and then soon after got to speak to them. So I think I actually told them before they found out, so I think they felt better about it then.
And are you concerned for any friends, or have you been able to, your friends in New Zealand, or is it your fiance?
Yeah, I'm here with my fiance, and he's fine. He works in the city center, and he was able to get out and get back home. He came to check on me because our phone line went down, and he couldn't get a hold of me, so he actually came to the house. We found out that his family had contacted all of them that are in the city, and they are safe. And all of our friends, although some of them have their homes destroyed, they are all physically safe that we know of. So the people that are still in the city center or who have been injured, unfortunately, are not our family and friends, but we are still really concerned about them. I'm sure we'll hear as the days go on that some of our acquaintances or more distant friends, weren't so lucky.
All right. Well, thank you very much. It's good to know you're okay, and I appreciate you communicating with us. It's amazing with the technology now, because I would assume 10 years ago, or let's say just before the cell phone, you wouldn't be able to do this because of the electricity issues, right?
It's true. And the fact that we have internet and something like Skype. I mean, my fiance and I always said, living in 2 different countries originally, that Skype was like the greatest invention in the world, we think, because it was able to keep us together. But it's so wonderful to be able to not just talk to my family and friends, but to see them as well through Skype. It's been absolutely fantastic. Yeah, and I think it's put their minds at ease.
The picture is remarkably good, by the way, so just in case you didn't know. But I appreciate it, and good luck. Good luck. I don't assume it makes you want to leave New Zealand, does it? Or
this is all still so new, and I think that we're going to see the devastation in days to come. But this is our home, and we don't want to just flee it. We think some people might want to leave Christchurch, especially because this is like the third big one, and the biggest actually. That's happened in just 6 months, but this is where our home is, and so we want to be here, and we want to help our friends and family. We'd like to help in the rebuilding of the city. It's a wonderful city. There's many tourists that come here every year from all over the world, and everyone that's ever been to New Zealand always says it's such a beautiful place, and the people are so wonderful. So we wouldn't want to leave a place like that. I think that after the recovery effort and everything, it's just a matter of rebuilding, and buildings can always be rebuilt.
All right, thanks, Laura. Good luck.